Hey Reddit, I never thought I'd be that guy writing on here, but life has a twisted sense of humor, I guess. I, 34M, have been married to my wife Samantha, 32F, for just over 7 years. We met through mutual friends back in college, and at the time, she was the life of the party. Funny, quick-witted, the kind of person who could light up a room. I always thought that spark was part of what made us so good together. For most of our marriage, things were fine. We had our ups and downs like everyone else, arguing about bills, her leaving wet towels on the bed, me forgetting to take out the trash, but nothing that felt like a red flag. Or at least, that's what I told myself. The first cracks started showing about 6 months ago. Samantha got a new job in marketing, which meant long hours, networking events, and an insane amount of texting that she'd never let me glance at. She started putting a passcode on her phone, which was weird because she used to hand me her phone without thinking twice. When I asked, she brushed it off. "It's just for work security, babe. They make us do it. Don't be paranoid." Except work security apparently meant sleeping with her phone under her pillow and taking it with her to the bathroom. I also noticed she was suddenly investing in herself again. New clothes, going to the gym more, spending an hour getting ready for girls' nights. When I complimented her, she gave me a lukewarm "thanks" and scrolled through Instagram like I wasn't there. I chalked it up to stress at work or maybe just a phase. But in the pit of my stomach, something felt off. And here's the kicker. Everyone around us still thought we were the perfect couple. We had the smiling Instagram photos, the "you guys are #couple goals" comments, and the holiday cards with matching sweaters. But behind the filters, I was starting to feel like a stranger in my own marriage. Looking back, I think I knew something was wrong long before I had the guts to admit it. I just didn't know how bad it was going to get. I kept trying to tell myself I was overthinking, but the weird moments started stacking up like dirty dishes we were both ignoring. For one, Samantha's schedule got unpredictable. She used to text me if she was running late, but lately I'd get a vague, "working late, don't wait up," around 9 p.m. Then I'd see her tagged in some friend's Instagram story at a bar 2 towns over, drink in hand, laughing with people I didn't recognize. When I'd ask, she'd roll her eyes. "Oh my God, you're so controlling. I told you I had to go out for work. Do you not trust me?" I started to hate that line. "Do you not trust me?" Like I was the one being unreasonable. Then there was the new perfume. Out of nowhere, she bought this expensive floral scent and wore it every time she went to the office. She'd come home late smelling like it, cheeks flushed, hair a mess, claiming she was exhausted from meetings. I noticed her being glued to her phone more than ever, and when I jokingly asked if she was texting her new work husband, she didn't even laugh. She just frowned and said, "Wow, insecure much?" The emotional distance between us was getting harder to ignore. She stopped asking about my day, stopped sitting next to me on the couch, and seemed annoyed whenever I initiated anything physical. When I finally asked if something was wrong, she snapped, "Not everything's about you, okay? Maybe I'm just tired of the same boring routine." That one stung more than I expected. I'd love to say I handled it like a calm, rational adult, but the truth is I started snooping. Checking our shared credit card statements, glancing at her phone whenever she left it unattended, which was weird because she used to hand me her phone without thinking twice. That's when I noticed random charges at restaurants we'd never been to and an Uber receipt for a ride that ended in a completely different part of the city than her office. I felt like a detective in my own marriage, piecing together clues that I didn't actually want answers to. And deep down, I was already terrified of what I might find. The night everything came crashing down started like any other. It was a Wednesday, and Samantha had texted me around 6 p.m. "Running late, big client dinner, don't wait up, heart." I tried to ignore the pit in my stomach, but something about the message felt off. Maybe it was the heart emoji. I couldn't remember the last time she'd sent one. Around 8 p.m., I was scrolling through my phone when her best friend Jenna posted an Instagram story. It was a short boomerang of a group raising their glasses at a rooftop bar. Everyone looked like they were having a good time. But there was Samantha in the corner, arm draped around some guy I didn't recognize, laughing in a way I hadn't seen in months. The caption? Work hard, play hard. Wine glass? #marketing life. My stomach dropped. I called Samantha, but it went straight to voicemail. I texted her, got a one-word reply an hour later. Busy. By 11:30 p.m., she still wasn't home. That's when I noticed her iPad on the kitchen counter. I knew it was wrong, but my hands were moving before my brain could catch up. I tapped the screen and her messages popped up, synced from her phone. And there it was, a thread with someone saved as Liam Sparkles. Flirty texts, inside jokes I didn't understand, pictures of cocktails, selfies with captions like, "Wish you were here," and "God help me." A photo of her in a dress I'd never seen before with the message, "Thinking about last night. Can't wait to see you again. Winky face." I just sat there staring at the screen, my heart pounding so hard I thought it would crack my ribs. My wife, the woman I'd built my life around, was cheating on me. I don't even remember hearing the front door open. She walked in around midnight, smelling like that perfume, grinning down at her phone. When she saw me holding the iPad, her face went pale. I didn't yell first. I just held up the iPad and asked, "Who is Liam?" Her smile disappeared instantly. "Give me that." She lunged for the iPad, but I pulled it back. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped it. "Don't play dumb, Sam. I saw the text. I saw everything. Who is he?" For a second, she just stood there frozen. Then her expression hardened, like she'd flipped a switch. "You went through my iPad? Are you serious right now? That's such an invasion of privacy. I can't believe you would do that to me." I felt my jaw clench. "You're cheating on me and you're mad about me checking your messages?" She crossed her arms, glaring. "Oh my God, you're so paranoid. Liam is just a coworker. We're on a big project together. We have to spend a lot of time together, and yeah, we joke around. That doesn't mean anything." I held up the screen, showing her the picture she'd sent, the one in the dress I'd never seen before. "Thinking about last night? Can't wait to see you again. That's not work talk, Sam?" She scoffed and rolled her eyes like I was the one being dramatic. "Wow, you're seriously twisting things. That was from the team dinner. Everyone went out. You know how inside jokes work, right?" Every word out of her mouth felt like a lie layered on top of another lie. I told her I wasn't buying it, that the evidence was right there. She got angrier, pacing the living room, muttering about how I'd ruined a perfectly good night with my trust issues. Finally, I said it. "Are you in love with him?" She froze, back turned to me for a long, gut-wrenching moment. She didn't answer. Then she said, low and cold, "You wouldn't understand even if I told you." It felt like someone had taken a baseball bat to my chest. After she dropped that line, "You wouldn't understand even if I told you," I just lost it. All the weeks of second-guessing myself, the gaslighting, the late nights, it all came out at once. I yelled. I don't even remember exactly what I said, but it was a mess of, "How long has this been going on?" And, "Do you even care about us anymore?" She didn't even flinch. She just stood there with her arms crossed, like I was an annoying customer at a store. "You're acting crazy," she said. "I can't even talk to you when you're like this." That only made me angrier. I asked her straight up if she had slept with him. She gave me this fake laugh and said, "Oh my God, you're obsessed." "No, I didn't sleep with him. We're just close friends. You seriously need therapy for your jealousy." But then my phone buzzed. It was Jenna, her best friend, the one who'd posted that Instagram story. She texted,
I'm so sorry. I didn't know you didn't know. I swear my blood went cold. I showed the text to Samantha and asked, "What doesn't she think I know, Sam?" Her face turned bright red. For the first time all night, she looked nervous. "She's just stirring the pot," she snapped. "You know how Jenna is. She's always trying to mess with people's relationships." I called Jenna on speaker right then and there. Samantha lunged for the phone, but I held it out of reach. Jenna's voice came through. "I thought she told you. She's been seeing Liam for months. Everyone in the group knows this." I looked at Samantha and she just stood there, jaw clenched, like a kid caught with her hand in the cookie jar. No more excuses, no more lies. I hung up without saying a word. The silence in that room was deafening.
Once Jenna's words sank in, Samantha completely flipped the narrative. Instead of apologizing or admitting anything, she started yelling about betrayal. My betrayal, apparently, for airing our dirty laundry in front of her friend. "I can't believe you'd humiliate me like that," she shouted, pacing the living room. "You cheated on me, Sam," I shot back. "Oh, please, you're so dramatic. It wasn't even serious. I was just figuring things out." Figuring things out. That's what she called sneaking around behind my back for months. I felt this cold, hollow numbness start to settle in. I wasn't even angry in that moment, just exhausted. I asked her point blank if she wanted to be with Liam. She hesitated, then said, "I don't know, okay? He makes me feel alive again. You wouldn't get it. We've just been in a rut for so long." That one sentence hit me harder than all the lies combined. All the late nights, the weird excuses, the sudden disinterest in me, it all made sense now. She hadn't just slipped up, she'd checked out of our marriage a long time ago. I told her to pack a bag and stay somewhere else for the night. She laughed in my face. "Oh, so now you're kicking me out of our house? Wow, classy move." I didn't budge. I just said I needed space, and if she respected me at all, she'd give me that. After 20 minutes of muttering about how insane I was being, she finally grabbed her purse and stormed out, slamming the door so hard the picture frames rattled. The moment the door clicked shut, the silence hit me like a tidal wave. I just sank onto the couch, staring at the iPad on the coffee table, replaying every red flag I'd ignored over the past 6 months. I barely slept that night. I woke up the next morning on the couch, my neck stiff and my head pounding. The house felt different, like all the warmth had been sucked out of it overnight. Samantha hadn't texted, hadn't called. For a moment, I wondered if she was even planning to come back. I dragged myself to the shower, then sat at the kitchen table staring at my phone. Part of me wanted to text her, demand answers, but another part of me just didn't want to hear more lies. Instead, I scrolled through our bank account, half on autopilot, and that's when I saw it. 3 new charges from last night. A hotel, dinner at some trendy restaurant downtown, an Uber to an address I didn't recognize. I felt my stomach drop. She hadn't gone to Jenna's or a friend's place. She'd gone straight to him. That's when the anger came flooding back, hot and uncontrollable. I wanted to call her, scream at her, maybe even drive to that address and see for myself. But instead, I just sat there, gripping my phone until my knuckles turned white. Because deep down, I already knew what I'd find. Around noon, she finally texted, "Can we talk later? I need some time to think." No apology, no explanation, just that. I didn't reply. Instead, I called Jenna. She sounded hesitant, but when I pressed, she admitted Samantha had been seeing Liam since early spring. Everyone in their friend group knew. Apparently, Samantha had even told people we were basically separated, which was news to me. I hung up and just sat there, staring at the wall. That's when the reality started to sink in. The woman I thought was my partner, my best friend, had been living a completely different life behind my back. And the worst part, I still loved her. That evening, Samantha came home like nothing had happened. No apology flowers, no shame, just a casual, "Hey, can we talk?" like we were discussing weekend plans. We sat across from each other at the dining table. She fiddled with her phone, wouldn't even look me in the eye. Finally, she sighed and said, "Look, I didn't mean for things to get this out of hand. Liam just makes me feel appreciated, you know? You've been so distant lately." I almost laughed. Me? Distant? I reminded her of the nights I'd tried to plan date nights,
The times I'd asked what was wrong only to get one-word answers. She shrugged. I guess I just needed something different. It wasn't supposed to mean anything. I asked her straight out if she wanted to work on our marriage or be with Liam. She hesitated for what felt like an eternity before saying, I don't know. I'm confused. Can we just take a break? A break. After 7 years of marriage, she wanted to take a break to figure out if she still wanted me. I told her I wasn't going to be her safety net while she figured things out. If she wanted to be with Liam, she could go and not come back. That's when she snapped. You're so black and white about everything. Relationships are complicated. The conversation went in circles for hours. Every time I pushed for clarity, she dodged with lines like, I need space, or you don't understand what I'm going through. Finally, I told her she could stay with a friend for the next few days while I decided what I wanted to do. She rolled her eyes, muttered something about me being overly dramatic, grabbed a bag, and left again. The second the door closed, I felt like I could breathe for the first time all day. The next few days were a blur. Samantha stayed at a friend's place, which I later confirmed was Liam's apartment through another bank statement, and I was left alone in our house, surrounded by all the little reminders of our life together. Her favorite mug in the sink, the sweater she always stole from me draped over the couch, her shoes lined up by the door like she'd just pop back in any minute. I tried to distract myself, but my mind kept looping through the same questions. How long had she been lying to me? When exactly did I lose her? Was there anything I could have done differently? Every time my phone buzzed, my stomach clenched. Sometimes it was her. Thinking about things, don't make any big decisions yet. Other times it was mutual friends reaching out because they'd heard rumors. Apparently Samantha had been telling people that I was controlling and emotionally distant. I wanted to scream. I wanted to call her out publicly, show everyone the texts, the receipts, Jenna's confession. But I didn't. I didn't have the energy. I talked to my parents about it, and my mom's voice broke when she said, Honey, you don't have to keep hurting yourself like this. My dad, who rarely gives advice, just said, Once trust is gone, it's gone. Around the third night, I realized something. I hadn't cried yet. I was angry, betrayed, humiliated, but the tears wouldn't come. It was like I was too numb for that. And in that numbness, a thought started to form. Maybe this marriage was already over and I was the last one to accept it. On the fourth day, Samantha texted me out of the blue. We need to talk. Can I come by tonight? I told her she could, but I wasn't going to do another round of vague excuses. I needed real answers. She showed up around 8 p.m. wearing that same perfume that now made my stomach turn. She sat across from me, scrolling through her phone like we were on opposite ends of a boring dinner date. So, I said, have you made a decision?
I just don't know if I can give up what I have with Liam. He understands me in a way you don't, but I also don't want to throw away 7 years. I felt my chest tighten, but I stayed calm. You already threw it away, Sam. The second you started lying to me, sneaking around, making me feel like I was crazy, that wasn't a mistake, that was a choice. For the first time, she actually looked uncomfortable. I didn't mean to hurt you, she muttered. You didn't care enough not to, I replied. She tried to shift the blame again, saying things like, well, you weren't exactly present either, and we've both made mistakes. I stopped her cold. There's a difference between growing distant and betraying someone's trust. You don't get to lump those together. When I told her I wanted a separation, she scoffed. Really? You're just going to give up after everything we've been through? I wanted to laugh at the hypocrisy. She'd been building a whole other relationship behind my back, and I was the one giving up? By the end of the night, I told her I'd be contacting a lawyer. She didn't even look surprised. She just grabbed her bag and said, Fine, you'll regret this, and walked out. For the first time in weeks, I felt something close to clarity. Telling people was the hardest part. Some of our mutual friends already knew, or at least suspected, but hearing myself actually say the words out loud felt like peeling a scab off a wound that hadn't even begun to heal. I started with my closest friends. The reactions ranged from shocked silence to, Man, I'm so sorry, but honestly, we kind of saw this coming. That one stung the most.
They'd seen things I hadn't, or maybe I just didn't want to see. I told my family next. My sister wanted to drive over and help me pack her stuff, which was code for set her clothes on fire. My parents were heartbroken, but supportive, and my dad said something that stuck with me. You can rebuild a lot of things, son, but trust isn't one of them. Meanwhile, Samantha was doing damage control. I started getting texts from people saying she gave up on me and couldn't handle her needing space. Apparently, Liam wasn't the reason we broke up, according to her version of events. I didn't even have the energy to defend myself anymore. I just started replying with, "Believe whatever you want. I'm done." The strangest part was the loneliness. Even though she was the one who betrayed me, the silence in the house felt heavier than ever. I'd catch myself reaching for my phone to text her about something funny I saw or a song we both liked, then remember she was probably sitting next to Liam at that very moment. That was the first night I cried. Ugly, chest-heaving, gut-wrenching sobs that left me gasping for air. It wasn't just about losing her. It was about losing the life I thought we had. A week later, I got the inevitable. Samantha showed up unannounced, pounding on the door like nothing had changed. When I opened it, she gave me that fake sweet smile that used to melt me. "Can we just talk without all the drama this time?" I let her in, but only because I wanted closure. She walked around the living room like she still lived there, picking up a framed photo of us from our anniversary trip. "We had good times, didn't we?" she said softly. Like that erased everything. I asked her what she actually wanted. She finally got to the point. "I think we should try again. I'm willing to cut things off with Liam. Eventually. I just need you to be patient with me." I almost laughed in her face. "Eventually? You want me to just wait around while you keep one foot in each relationship?" She got defensive. "You're not being fair. You don't understand how hard this is for me." That's when I realized she didn't feel guilty, she felt inconvenienced. I told her I'd already contacted a lawyer and was moving forward with the separation. Her mask finally slipped. "Wow, so you're just gonna throw away everything because of one mistake? You're pathetic," she spat as she grabbed her purse. As she stormed out, she turned back and said, "You'll never find someone who loves you like I did." For once, I didn't feel anger, just relief, because I finally believed her, and I didn't want that kind of love anymore. That night, I packed up her remaining things into boxes and left them by the door. The day after I boxed up her stuff, she came by while I was at work and collected everything. No note, no goodbye, just a text. "Got my things. Don't contact me unless it's about paperwork." Seeing the empty spaces where her things used to be was weirdly cathartic. The house still felt hollow, but it was finally mine again. I started focusing on myself, long overdue gym sessions, reconnecting with friends I'd lost touch with, even picking up guitar again. Every day, the knot in my chest loosened a little more. There were setbacks. Random reminders would hit me like a sucker punch. A song on the radio, a restaurant we used to love. I'd still wake up sometimes half expecting to see her beside me. But the pain was duller now, like a bruise fading over time. Friends kept sending me screenshots of her and Liam, full-on couple photos now, no attempts to hide it. At first it burned, then it just didn't. She'd already been gone long before she packed her bags. One night, over beers, my best friend asked, "If she came crawling back tomorrow, would you take her back?" For the first time, I didn't even have to think about it. "No," I said. "Not a chance." The divorce process was messy as I expected. Samantha tried to drag things out, claiming she was entitled to more of our assets because she had sacrificed so much for the marriage. My lawyer shut that down quickly. Every interaction with her just confirmed I'd made the right decision. The woman I had once adored had turned into someone I barely recognized, manipulative, bitter, and still unable to take any responsibility for what happened. Meanwhile, I started seeing glimpses of the person I used to be, before all the doubt, before the constant anxiety of wondering where she was or who she was texting. I laughed more. I slept better. I stopped walking on eggshells. One day, Jenna texted me out of the blue. "I know this is weird, but I just wanted to say I'm proud of you for getting out. None of us knew how to tell you. She was different with him, crueler somehow." For some reason, that brought me more closure than anything Samantha ever said. It wasn't just in my head. She really had become someone else, and not in a way that had anything to do with me. I started to think about the future, not rushing into dating, but realizing that maybe there was life beyond this betrayal. Maybe there was someone out there who wouldn't make me feel like a backup plan. For the first time in months, I felt a glimmer of hope. It's been a few months now since Samantha walked out of my life for good, and I can finally say the fog has lifted. The divorce is finalized, the house feels like mine again, and I'm not jumping every time my phone buzzes. Looking back, I can see all the red flags I ignored. The late nights, the secrecy, the way she made me feel like I was crazy for even questioning her. I used to think that if I just tried harder, things would go back to how they were. But the truth is, she'd already left long before I caught her. The anger has faded into something quieter. Not forgiveness, exactly, but acceptance. I don't wish her well, but I don't wish her harm either. She made her choices, and now I'm making mine. I've learned a few things through all this. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it usually is. Don't ignore the patterns. People who lie will always find new ways to justify it. Value yourself enough to walk away. Staying with someone who doesn't respect you is just slow self-destruction. I'm not going to pretend I'm over it completely. Betrayal like that leaves scars. But I'm no longer defined by what she did. I'm learning to enjoy my own company again, to rebuild my confidence, and to look forward instead of back. To anyone reading this who's in the same boat, you deserve better. Don't let someone convince you that your worth depends on their ability to treat you right. I may have lost her, but I'm starting to realize I gained something bigger: myself.